Hello, this is Anjanette,
And I'm Sean.
and this podcast is Take a Fool's Advice. All right,
Well, what else? Where we do what?
where we come and we talk about life experiences, things we went through, in hopes that it may help and inspire others.
And it's imperative that we say that because other than that, we just talk. And this is personal for me, and I know it is for you because I've explained that when we talked about it. It's personal for me because I'm inspired by doing this. I'm not just doing this to be doing this. This is something I would really do and be happy with the rest of my life, inspiring others and trying. And listen, I know I'm not the best example. So I always hit the negative in my ear. And I like that because it builds me up to be able to handle it. A lot of times we handle negativity with violence or whatever. Some people submerge. Well, I call it submerge.
And just to piggyback on that is that don't wait to do, huh?
No, I'm sorry for interrupting. I was just saying I'll be wiping my head sometime. I'm hot. I even got central air, but I'm still hot.
Oh, but to piggyback off what you were saying is most people think you have to wait until your life is perfect before you do something positive. Do something positive and let your life change along the way. And a lot of people, they might look at what they see because social media has got everybody fooled, and they not know the real deal about a person. And so this podcast kind of show you the real deal, because you might look at me and think that some people, she never did nothing, she got her life together, blah, 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 blah. When you don't even know who the real me is, you only seeing this little, not even 1% of a person on Facebook or Instagram or TV, these reality shows. And people on the outside looking in get it twisted because they thinking that's really going on. And some people even go into depression over what's really not real.
That's right. And as eloquently said, and you made me think about something, and this is something that I noticed, and it's really prevalent. Most of the most beautiful people in the world are scarred the worst. And the reason I say that is because we look at pretty things or nice things and we say, hey, they got it all, or that's that. But we don't know the process. And I don't want to misquote something, but I'm just gonna give y'all the book. It's a book that I love. Oh my God. Let me think what the name of it is. It'll come back to me in a second. But the book talks about, and something that stuck with me is that you see the religious person suffering more than the criminal person. And it went on to say that don't judge because you don't know what that religious person did, or it's basically your karma. And even though he's doing wrong, he does a lot of good things with his wrong. And I'm not suggesting doing wrong. That's not what the book was saying. The book was just enlightening to, in fact, the name of the book is in the Bible. It has it in the Bible. The name. I can't think of it. It's going to come to me, y'all. I apologize. But what it did for me was it allowed me to see that whatever you're going through in your life, people really don't know. And like I said, I'm going to do a little small little thing I used to learn. I remember back when I was younger, me and a few of my friends and partners, we used to go to clubs. And a couple of my partners, and no disrespect to nobody, but back then, this is how we was thinking, would pick to us the most ugliest girls in the club. Me and my other partners, we would go try to talk to the most prettiest ones in the club. But what I learned in that process, they was horrible. They was freaks, if you want to say that. They were someone was mentally challenged where they were saying and trying to, I'm gonna kill myself, that type of stuff. So I just want to say that to go back to what I was saying, that we cannot allow ourselves to think that women, I mean, not women, people who look the most attractive or look like they got everything together is really something that they just magically got, or something that they're better than what you've been through.
Kind of like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
It's just a cover on the outside. You have no idea what's going on in the inside.
Right. So with that being said, sis, you ready to get to the subject for today?
Yes, I am ready to get to the subject today. Today, we're going to talk about your ride out and your first days and experience in the penitentiary. When you first went that day, and just all of it, your feelings.
Well, as we talked before, we
Hey, Bridget.
Hey, baby.
So rude, so rude.
That's okay.
But
it's live.
That's right, it's real. But to go back what we was talking about, the domestic violence, the reason why we didn't stay on that subject, we jumped from that subject to domestic violence, it was because I called you, as you know, I wanted people to really understand how domestic violence is the most common violence. Most cases are solved because over time, just like, and this is what I had to learn. I had to learn that.
He's off topic again, but we're going to go with it.
No. It's on topic. No, my mind to be spacing and all this, but I wanted to say that, I learned that, a lot of times we don't really understand, the things that causes us to be the way we are. And because we don't understand that, we tend to not ever find a resolution to our problem. You know what I'm saying? So many times in my life, I had to realize that I thought that I was doing things and didn't understand why I was doing, why did I get so angry, why I got so mad. But really, it was like an exercise. I trained myself by the things that I allow my mind to take in. And I accept. You got to accept responsibility for making the action that you do. You can't say something caused you to do something, because you got to make a decision to do it.
Right.
And I had to learn that as well. But back to the subject about, I was saying about going to jail when I went to prison. After I left quarantine, which I sat there, I can't remember how many days, but I sat a while. And everybody's trying to get out of quarantine in prison, because quarantine is the worst. It's like county jail.
I was scratching my throat. Go ahead.
But quarantine is worse for anybody that's been incarcerated. It's actually worse than the county jail, because you don't have a lot of when you're in jail, you want something to pass the time. And they really ain't got nothing. So after I left quarantine, I went to a facility called Adrian Correctional Facility. And at these times, as I said a few podcasts before this, the prisons remind me of the projects, the structure, the mentality. So I do think that after some studying or putting people in certain positions, they knew who would be going to these prisons. And the best thing we can do is make them feel as comfortable as we can, like they do animals. Because they put a monkey in the zoo, they give him somewhere to play. So when I first rolled in there, that wasn't my first impression, because I was young. But as time went on, that's what I started realizing. But I did the first day those look like the projects. So as young, I'm gonna keep it real, as young, I wanted to find a way to pass time. That's all I wanted to do. At that time, I wasn't thinking about nothing but how I'm gonna get these 20 years off my back.
Because 20 years probably seemed like forever.
It was forever. It was a nice chunk out of my life. But you got, you know, I'm a 23-year-old. Well, at that time I was 24, but when I first went in, I turned 24 while I was incarcerated. So I'm 24, don't know nothing, wet behind the ears. And one of the craziest things that first struck my attention was this joint had a lot of homosexuality at it, a lot. And one of the reasons were because a lot of the people were there. At this time, they was closing down parts of Jackson prison. And a lot of the guys were riding out to these what they call regional facilities. They didn't call them prisons no more. They called them correctional facilities. Back in the day, they was called penitentiary. They went from penitentiary to prison, from prisons to correctional facilities. So it's all been a process. And I learned this because everything they do in there, it has a reason. The structure of it, the way the police move and do things, the color of the paint on the walls. You're not gonna go in the prison and see a red wall. You're not gonna go in the prison and see a dark black wall. You're gonna see beige, white, blue, because through their research and psych, and you probably take these classes if you take criminology, is that what it's called? You probably learn this, but colors do affect the way you think. So, but it was real, homosexuality was real strong there. And I was a guy that used to slip and play all the time. You know what, and then for those that don't know what slipping is, gay jokes, I guess. Talking to another guy like he's a woman or whatever. So I get in there, and I never forget this. I'm bored, I'm stressed, because it's hot, it's summertime, it's so hot, oh Lord. No air conditioning, y'all, no fans. And you got a big old chunky dude might be in your cell with you farting all night. But it's terrible, the weather terrible. We sitting outside. And this guy that I first seen was a porter. And what a porter is a guy that cleans up around the prison. Now, mind you, he was a guy. The next time I seen him, he was dressed up with, they use Kool-Aid. I'm laughing about something else. I will say it after I say this, but they use Kool-Aid, and some of them had makeup. The police are bringing it in. Long story short, when I saw that, and I saw how the guys was talking to him like a female, and him setting up trick dates, literally on the yard, that's when it hit me. And I ran to my room. I didn't run, but I went back to my room, and I got on my knees, and I wasn't a praying guy. I said, God, what I got myself into? This life here is like the men, it's nothing but men, but these men are women to these men. And you better not disrespect them. You better not say no crazy stuff to him, because that dude is gonna protect him or whatever. Also, you don't walk down the hallways. This is in prison though, not the correctional facility, because they fixed that. They put doors up. But you don't walk down a hallway and look in another man's cell. Never do that. Never do that. You won't even see it coming if they cut. And most of them are in them type of environment, because that's the rule. You'll get stabbed going to child, and you just got there. But some guys are humble enough to say, young brother, let me talk to you, or whoever, let me talk to you. And then some just like blood.
Dang.
So I'm serious. So that was the rule. And for me, young and dumb, I accepted that rule. But that wasn't my thing anyway, because let me say this too, because I didn't say this. Fear, I was a little scared. I wasn't scared when I rode into the prison quarantine because everybody had told me what quarantine was. But going to the prison, that's when I had a little fear. So, but yeah, so doing all this homosexuality, I mean, I went back to my room, I went back to my room and I prayed. Then all I wanted to do was smoke weed. You sent me a couple of dollars for some weed. You remember that?
Yeah.
And you said, Sean, don't call me no more for no dang on weed. And do you remember why you said that?
No, why?
Because the guy kept saying you didn't send the money, and I kept calling you, talking about, didn't you send the money? Didn't you send the money? You said, Sean, I'm not going to tell you I sent the money and didn't. You remember that?
Yeah.
And you said,
So
you know what?
happened that he didn't get it? What happened that it took so long for him to get it?
I don't know, but let me tell you what he did. I know I'm jumping off subject, but let me clear this up. I'm going to go right to that. And I said I was going to say something else before that. But when after I did that, it just woke me up. So, like I said, I started smoking weed. And the money didn't touch down when it's supposed to. And this guy had life that I was getting the weed from. So he had an image that he really don't. Like I said, when you in Jackson Penitentiary, Marquette, I've been both of them. That's prison. That's like Alcatraz, where people getting thrown off galleries, stabbed, police bringing it back, women doing what they do, whatever. We used to have, I got a picture with a gold chain like this almost, with a queen. It's real. You could wear that. Gators, guy had gator, you wear your regular clothes. And so many people.
Well, we lost Sean. He will be back shortly, I'm sure. Looked like he was getting a phone call. Some of this stuff he's telling me I've never heard before. But it's interesting to know, and maybe it will help the young boys know that before they do something, not just young boys, but just young people, prison is real and you can go. And it's not a walk in the park. It's not easy. Never been, but I couldn't imagine, so just take heed. While Sean's trying to get back on, what can we talk about? Let's see. Well, when he was in prison, I know he would call. So you got to think about that too. People trying to live on the outside, trying to pay bills, take care of families. So that's a expense for them. Accepting all these phone calls, and I know people get in there and they want to talk to family or they want to talk to people on the outside, but calling once a month maybe. Really, to be honest, you don't even need to call me once a month, but just calling every now and then. Okay, we can write letters. Letters are almost basically free besides the stamp. Okay, here you go. Just a minute. All right, go ahead. Flip over. Flip your phone. Okay. Now what was ma'am?
Let me say something. I'm very, very sorry, y'all. I've been trying to get this together. I hate that type of situation. So I apologize again. I'm gonna stop being cheap. I know what I gotta do. But I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that because I get irritated when I have that kind of made me a little off track. And thank you for being able to hold it down, whatever. But the guy. I was telling you about the guy that I used to get the weed from. He was doing life. And he cut into me one day. He was like, man, that money ain't got there. He wasn't gangster with me. Mind you, at this time, I'm young. And I got a couple old, I didn't say this, I met a couple of guys, older guys, and they would talk to me. Young blood, go to the law library, study your case. And they would say, don't, if something go down, you got to handle it. Because if you don't handle it, this happened, that happens. So I'm making up my mind that I got to make sure I'm going to keep it 100 all the time. But I did not fail a few times. But the guy cut into me, and then I went back, I called you. You said, Sean, I sent it off. And I said, and after that's okay. I said, I went back and told him, I said, I talked to my sister. Mind you, no phone calls high back then. Remember that?
I was just saying that. I was just saying that on that little intermission was.
You okay, baby?
I was just saying that on that intermission, that them phone calls is an expense. I know people be locked up, but on the outside, bills is still due.
That's right.
So calling once a month, that could even be a lot. You know what I'm saying?
And that was a purpose to me, the MDOC, especially in Michigan. Their whole purpose was designed, and I don't have no, I'll die on the grave, go to my grave saying this. They seen a big money maker. They seen how to capitalize off of volunteers.
Right.
We were all volunteers. So it was a big business. I'm talking about people were able to buy homes. I'm talking about the correctional officers was making more money than a lot of people was making that had blue, they was on the white collar level, working at a correctional facility, But I called you, and after I called you, I went back and told him, like, okay. A couple of days went by. He got this big dude with him. And there you got the Nation of Islam, you had the Melanics, you had the Mobites, then you had gangbangers, you had Israelites and certain other people, they weren't strong. You had, the most people was gangbangers, Moorish Americans, what they call Moorish Americans, Melanics, and Nation of Islam. We call him Big Mo. He's a big dude with a gold tooth. That was his, like, I found this out later, that was his hitman. So he walked up to me again. He said, look, man, that money ain't got there. What did he tell me? You need to do something or this, that, and the other. I said, man, look, man. And I meant what I stood up. I said, look, listen, man, I don't lie. And my people say they sent it. How I know you ain't lying? He said, all right, and left. Big Mo caught me later on that night because he was brimming me at first. He said, look, young blood, you need to take it. I said, bro, I'm not playing. I ain't lying to this man. He said, all right. So the money still didn't come. About a week later. I don't know what happened. They cut back into me, but this time we got what you call a store where you buy and purchase food items. He said, man, you can just give me my money on the commissary. It was $100 what it was. And I said, man, my sister sent that money. I said, but if you don't get there this week, I'll get your commissary. The money got there. He come told me the money got there. Now, before I used to call you and do all that, we didn't have no problems. That time you told me, Sean, I'm not doing that no more. You said, don't even worry about it. You about to get in trouble, I'm through with it. And you never sent me no money. I never did, but actually I never asked you again. Have I ever asked you after that? And that was 92, 93. That's 92, 93. You know what I'm saying? So what was so crazy after that, about about 6 months later, him and Big Mo had did some business with this one guy. And the guy told him, I ain't paying y'all nothing. We sitting in the day room, and what the day room is just where you have a TV in one, maybe a pool table, ping pong set in one, and you have what they call the quiet spot. Quiet spot, you go read books, you just be quiet. I'm sitting in the day room in the quiet, which it ain't quiet, but me and a couple of friends, we sitting back. But in prison, and maybe out here too, some people, it's like the air change when something's about to happen. You can feel it. And you have guys come, man, somebody go down. I can feel it, or somebody tell you.
Bet that be spiritual. I bet that be spirit.
It's just an aura. Or a guy come up to you and be like, I'm holler at you. Let's go. Let's go. I had that happen a couple times. Let's go. So at this time, it happened too fast. So, and didn't nobody know about it. I'm sitting in the day room, and him and Big Mo come in there, and the guy was talking all that stuff. Told me they gonna pay him. They went to cutting on him.
Dang.
They got to stab him. He runs out the door. They stab him at the police. He trying to get to the police. What you call it? Hub. I don't know. Their little desk or whatever. They stabbed him all through there. I'm gonna get back on point, but I'm gonna go here I did end up meeting that guy again about 10 years later. And he was in Max in the hole. And he seems, we call him Woody, his name Woody. But that's what we call him, Woody. He said, Sean, I love you. Because we was cool at that, because my money never went bad. We was cool at that. I said, what's up, Woody? Nah, I said, what you in your phone now? You know what I do. And he shake a bag, so to speak, every place he go. That's what he do. Then he turned around. Now in the hole, you can't have tobacco. But out in GP, which is general population, you could buy, at this time, you could buy tobacco. Because I was in prison when they smoked and then they stopped smoking. Right. But long story short, he wanted me to sneak him in. They called bugler pouches about this big, about that tall. He wanted me to sneak some of them in because I worked in the hole. I was working in the hole. And he told me, I'll give you $200, you bring it in. He had the cash on him. I said, Woody, I ain't gonna do that. I said, I can't do it. He said, what? I said, Woody, I'm not finna do that. Because if the police catch you, you'll be in the hole. But I wasn't scared about going in the hole. And at this time, I got favored with the police. They used to tell me, do what you do, but watch the camera. But the reason why I didn't do it was because at that time I was in the Nation of Islam, so I didn't deal with the tobacco or none of that. So let me go back to Adrian. I was in Marquette for a minute.
Wait, what happened to the guy they stabbed up? Did he die?
I seen him again.
Oh, okay.
He was humble. That's all I can tell you. He was humble. He really was. He used to walk around that penitentiary crazy. He looked like a Jamaican. He had long dreads, kind of athletic built. We all were young at that time. And he was just, wow. He was a guy that be putting in work, so to speak. You know, but he took that man, you know, like I said, it's the same thing on the streets. That's what an old head told me too. Same thing get you killed in the streets and get you killed in here, young blood. Every day used to say young blood or brother. He said, gambling, sissies, and drugs. He said, the only difference is you're choosing a man instead of a woman. He said, them three things will get you in trouble in here. I've seen guys getting married on the yard. I've seen guys come in there with breasts. And because I was at a special facility at one time where this was the best facility I've ever been at, actually. You was in prison, you want to be here. So they would put those type of people in there because it was like an honor type of joint where you wouldn't want to do nothing stupid to get to another prison. That was their curve. In fact, you didn't even call the police officers there. You called like your name, Anjanette. Bob, come here. That's how the joint was, man. That joint was, and I'll probably get to that joint there.
How long was you there?
2 years until I caught assault. That's why I went to Mac. I had hit a guy in the head with a lock. He put his hands on me. You know, he did like this. We going to the chow hall, and I owed him some money. And I said, and I got money at this time. I'm gambling. I got a lottery out called Game Related, GAME Related. And I do the numbers off the street. And if you hit it, you hit it. But we had tokens. They used to give you little plastic pieces that were like money. And they just like, some is gray. The buffaloes, they call them, that's the $5. They silver. And I forgot what the dollars were, but the gray ones were dollars. They had dollars, fives, and maybe 10, I can't remember. But you walking around, you know, the same mentality, guys. And that's what I'm saying. People were trying to live in there like the streets, and it's impossible. And I learned that after I come back out. But, you know, you got the guys who want to be the big, flashy guys. They got all the tokens, all the clothes. Mike probably got them some sissies undercover. But like I said, that was kind of taboo. A lot of guys did what they did in the dark. They wasn't showing up. But some guys was just flat out with it, you know. And this joint was just off the chain. It was just off the chain for real. I'm talking about they had barbecue. They were barbecue. They had video games like Nintendo, all that. What else? Oh, they would feed you so good that you didn't have to go to the store. The chow hall, you just walk through there and keep walking through there. The joint was straight. I jacked off because, like I said, I was telling you about the tokens and stuff and gambling and the money. I was running this lottery, and so as I'm running my lottery, I'm gambling too. Matter of fact, that's what it was. I'm getting towed up and tongue. I'm cold with tongue now, but I was getting towed up. And my bunkie said, which was my brother, we both got into the nation later on, but he was like, Sean, man, and he was younger than me. He said, bro, I'm gonna tell you something. He said, my daddy told me, if a man is always winning, he cheating. And if he ain't cheating, you don't know what you're doing. Now I'm gonna ask you, do you know how to play tongue? I said, yeah, I know how to play tongue. He said, well, do the math. And you need to stop gambling with him because he think you somebody you ain't. That's what my little man said.
That's wisdom there.
And show us the sky is blue. Now he's selling, another dude that had a lot of drugs in the penitentiary and all that. So people it's just like out here, the dope man, this and all, so people ride with him, look up to him, whatever. I'm gambling because I got money like he got, we just messing around. So he get up, we go to breakfast. He said, man, where my money at, man? I said, bro, I gotta wait till my man get up. Because you can't have, but I think you're gonna have $100 in your room in tokens. If you got anything over $100, they'll confiscate it. So I got $100 over here, $100 over here. You may not have no money, or you may not have none. I'm gonna give you $100, but I'm gonna pay you too. Make sure you eat every night, whatever. That's the game. So he got mad and said, I want my money now. I said, man, what I just tell you? He did just like that with his finger. Get my money. I said, you right, I'm gonna get you. So Rodney was right on the side and seen it and just shook his head. I said, man, go on the chow, man. I told my bunkie, go on the chow. I went in my room. We used to have leather belts. And we had a master lock. We used to have a master lock. Can you see me?
Yeah, I see.
We had to have the big master locks. I went in and got my belt, put it on the master lock, and wrapped my hand up and had locked by hanging like this. Not that long, just about like that. Waited till he came back from the chow hall. Hallways, people coming down. I said, man, come here, man, I got your money. When he stuck his head in that doorway, I tried to take it off. I really did. I hit him with that mask lock.